Hi, I'm April Porter, and for those of you that don't know, I'm a former multi-unit award-winning franchisee, an attorney, and currently the CEO of Ask April Porter, where we fill the franchise gap between the model and the business intelligence, strategies, and mindset that a franchisee or small business owner needs in order to scale into multiple revenue streams, multiple locations, and sanity, wealth, and gratitude. So we've been talking for the past few episodes about the things that are generally holding us back as small business owners from really reaching our full potential that are kind of under the radar. And we started off talking about the biggest threat to our success is I don't know what I don't know. There's so much more out there, so many more strategies, so many more things to tap into that could accelerate your business growth, and you just don't know what they are. And we kind of default into this arrogance, thinking that we do know the path and concentrating on the things that we know how to do. Those things are often lower level, more in the employee mindset area, and they keep us just churning and churning and churning instead of actually growing. So threat number 2 was time. We always have a hard time figuring out how to prioritize, how to get out of that daily grind and give ourselves enough space to really focus on learning the things we don't know, filling that gap with strategies that grow and accelerate our business growth even faster. And then we talked about maybe we have tried to take advantage of some different strategies in the past, but it didn't work out like we thought it would. That makes us feel like it was a bad idea, like we failed, like we made a mistake. And we don't want to make that mistake again. We certainly don't want to get burned again. We don't want to feel like we were taken advantage of or like someone pulled the wool over our eyes. In order to protect ourselves, we don't want to take a risk on partnering with someone else in the future, whether that means a vendor or a strategic partner or an employee, even a client, because we've been burned before. So we're hesitant to get involved again in that kind of relationship. And today we're talking about the 4th way that we can really hamper our potential. And that is by getting married to the idea that we need a guarantee. We need a guarantee before we'll take action. Now, a guarantee is really where we say, before I can take action, I need to be 100% sure it is going to work exactly like I believe it is going to work. This is not to be confused with a warranty. Many people use guarantee and warranty together. A warranty is that if something goes wrong, we'll make it right. If you take your car to the car mechanic, they fix it, and they're saying, well, if anything goes wrong with the car, we'll fix it. A guarantee is if that same mechanic said, we 100% promise nothing will ever go wrong with this car. Not happening. Won't happen. Guarantee it. A guarantee is what the people of the Titanic got. 100%. This is unsinkable ship. Unsinkable. That was what it was known for. It will not sink. Everybody got on that ship believing they had a guarantee they would make it to their destination safely. Important lesson right out of the gate, really there's no such thing as a guarantee. There is no such thing as a guarantee. Yet, we as humans, we can get paralyzed by believing, 1, there is a way to guarantee something, and 2, that we're entitled to it. Real success requires risk, but it also requires faith. So you're better served not by a guarantee that a digital ad will bring in 10 leads, but by faith that it will bring in 10 leads. Or alternatively, it will teach you how to create a digital ad that brings in 10 leads. So that is how the people who succeed in business and thrive and grow empires, that's how they operate. They don't operate in the, I'm not going to take action unless it can be guaranteed. If you can't guarantee me that it will hit 10 leads, then I am not going to invest in it. Instead, it's let's have a conversation. Wow, this makes a lot of sense that this strategy would bring about 10 leads. Okay, it may not, but I think it's a smart risk. I think it's a smart gamble. So I'm going to go ahead and invest in this digital ad. And I also have faith if it looks like it's not going to hit the 10 leads, that we're going to work on it together and try to tweak it so we can get as many leads out of it as possible. There is no such thing as guarantee. And when we get married to that idea, we stunt ourselves in an immature level as business owners. I'm sure you heard it in the 2 examples I just gave, not only in the thinking, but in the way that the discussion would happen. There is a maturity in having faith and saying, I believe that this will happen and that's why I'm going to make the investment. However, I'm aware that it may not, and we might need to make some changes along the way, and I'm open to that. I'm keeping a very open mind and I'm being flexible. Being flexible is one of the superpowers of a high-level business owner. One of the things that comes to mind when I really think about this topic of faith and guarantees, I think about Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I mean, I love me some Indiana Jones. Harrison Ford as a young man, yes, please. He was my hero growing up. Loved him. And I thought that Indiana Jones were so entertaining and funny movies. But Last Crusade, when Sean Connery joined him as his father, fantastic. And at the end of that movie, spoiler alert, in case you're a movie fan and you haven't gotten around to watching this yet, you should. But spoiler alert, Indiana Jones and his father uncovered the location of the Holy Grail. And when they enter the cave, they have to send someone through the different tests. The person who seeks the Holy Grail will be tested. Because it's the Holy Grail and the whole premise of it is based in Christianity, the tests, of course, involve faith and belief in God. Indiana Jones is the one who begins to go through the trials. And at first, there is a trial where he has to use his knowledge of the Bible and his wits about the layout of the land in order to pass the first test, which he does. And then he happens upon the second test. And the second test, he is at the edge of a cliff. And this is inside a cave. And it's one of those movie sets where, you could drop something down and it's completely a dark black abyss beneath him. You don't know if whatever you drop would ever hit the ground. I think he drops a match and the match goes out before you ever hear it hit the ground. Obviously, no one wants to fall down that thing. And he has to make it to the other side. And seemingly, there is no bridge. There's no walkway. All of his research has led him to some instructions on how to make it past this test. And the instructions say it is a walk of faith. He's like, oh my gosh, like seriously, am I really just supposed to step off this cliff when there's nothing to catch me? And I'm supposed to believe, just purely believe that somehow I will be able to walk on air across this chasm to reach the other side. He decides that, as improbable as it seems, that's exactly what he's going to do. So he puts his foot up. I'll never forget in the movie, he strikes his leg out forward and it's straight with his toes pointed at the ceiling, and he just kind of falls forward with it, and bam, he lands on a bridge. And the bridge was there all along. It just was painted in a way where it was invisible to the naked eye. But as the camera pans around it, you can see that it is a solid bridge made of stone that will support him all the way across. But someone who wouldn't have had faith, who wouldn't have had the desire, the strong desire to reach the Holy Grail, someone who would have maybe been not convinced they even had the bravery to move forward, they would have turned around and left the cave. They wouldn't have even tried. And they would have missed the fact that really there's a bridge there. There's nothing to be afraid of whatsoever. That's the power of faith. And I do think about that in the context of needing a guarantee, because he didn't have one, but yet took action anyway. And guess what? That action did in fact lead him to the Holy Grail. And that Holy Grail led him to turning water into the fountain of youth, which saved his father's life, who had been shot back at the front of the cave. Now, don't complain, because I told all of you, spoiler alert, before I started the story, and it is one of my top 100 movies. So if you haven't seen it, I suggest you do. The point in today's lesson is that when we seek a guarantee, what we're really seeking is an excuse to not take action. How can that be? Because we really know that there is no such thing as a guarantee. And so when we demand a guarantee and the person we're talking to says no, then that gives us exactly what we want, which is, okay, well then I won't do business with you. You just saved me. You kept me safe because I was scared to do business with you by telling me there's no guarantee. Well, I get to be self-righteous about it. I get to use that as my reason for not doing it, instead of the reason being I'm afraid to take the risk, or I'm afraid to take action, or I'm afraid of making a mistake. And instead of having to own up to those things and acknowledge them, I get to say, oh, well, you won't give a guarantee, and so I'm not going to do business with you. So this is why seeking out guarantees can be so enticing to us, because it really allows us to play inside our comfort zone, and it allows us to play small instead of playing really big. And of course, getting to your dreams and getting to meet your full potential requires that you play big. Another reason that most providers will never offer you a guarantee that you will get results using their services. Usually part of the success of those services is dependent upon you as the business owner. If you sign up for digital marketing services and you aren't clear on who your ideal customer is or your niche or your 3 to 5 customer avatars, and you can't explain that clearly to the marketing agency, then they don't have enough information to put out the highest level digital ad for you to get you the best results. They are limited by what you can give them. If they're relying on you, they can't give you a guarantee because each customer is going to come to them with a different level of commitment to the project and with a different level of business intelligence to contribute to the project. So therefore, they can't possibly give a guarantee because you are an unknown factor. You are the variant. That's true not just in digital marketing. That's also true when it comes to services such as even payroll. Can you guarantee me that payroll will always be paid on the second and fourth Friday of the month? Well, no, I can't guarantee that because we can't issue payroll until you provide the hours that your employees worked. As long as you provide those hours by Tuesday at 3 o'clock, everyone will be paid on time. But if you do not provide the necessary information by Tuesday at 3 o'clock, they may not get paid until the next business day. So many things in business are going to rely on the business owner showing up fully, participating 100% in the project in order to optimize the results. I'm going to take it back now because we just talked about how time is one of the greatest obstacles to a business owner succeeding because business owners tend to get caught up in the weeds and don't make time for growth activities. Now we're bringing it full circle. Even when a business owner wants to participate 100% in a project and has the business intelligence to do so, if they don't make the time to do it, then they aren't providing what the vendor or the partner or the employee or the client need at 100% to complete the project. And so the results won't be as good. And it doesn't mean that you won't get good results, but what it does mean is that the results cannot be guaranteed. They cannot be guaranteed. So I wanted you to take this moment and think about this from your perspective as a business owner and what guarantee might your clients want from you? And are you capable of promising them that a particular result will happen 100% of the time? And if the answer is no, then that will help you start to see and understand when you are consciously or subconsciously desiring a guarantee and using that as a reason to not move forward, to not take a risk, to not take that leap of faith that will carry you across the chasm, help you find the holy grail, which is your full potential. So if you want to really dive in and learn how to increase that business intelligence so that you can predict amazing results, even when they aren't guaranteed, in everything you do in your business, then join us for the free Release Your Business Beast Bootcamp. It's 3 days, 1 hour a day. We're going to be covering all kinds of topics, how to release that business beast within, leave behind these limiting beliefs that are requiring guarantees or telling you that you've been burned before so you can't take action, or that you don't have time to take action, or that you don't know enough to take action. We're going to eliminate all of that. We're going to do it in just 3 days. So join us inside the boot camp. I guarantee we're going to have a good time. That's something I can always guarantee. My name's April Porter. Welcome. We are changing the franchising industry. Show up every day authentically as yourself, unapologetically to infinite success.